Welcome to Learn PTE HUB. I'm Sidhu, and I'm here to help you ace your PTE exam. Whether you are just starting your PTE journey or looking to boost your score, you've come to the right place. On this channel, you'll find comprehensive lessons, expert tips, and practical strategies to master every section of the PTE exam. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get started and conquer the PTE together.
So why doesn't the Fed just decide to print infinite $100 bills to make everyone happy and rich? Well, because then the bills wouldn't be worth anything. Think about the purpose of currency, which is to be exchanged for goods and services. If the total amount of currency in circulation increases faster than the total value of goods and services in the economy, then each individual piece will be able to buy a smaller portion of those things than before. This is called inflation. On the other hand, if the money supply remains the same while more goods and services are produced, each dollar's value would increase in a process known as deflation. So which is worse? Too much inflation means that the money in your wallet today will be worth less tomorrow, making you want to spend it right away. So while this would stimulate business, it would also encourage overconsumption or hoarding commodities like food and fuel, raising their prices and leading to consumer shortages and even more inflation. But deflation would make people want to hold on to their money, and a decrease in consumer spending would reduce business profits, leading to more unemployment and a further decrease in spending, causing the economy to keep shrinking. So most economists believe that while too much of either is dangerous, a small, consistent amount of inflation is necessary to encourage economic growth.
In 2012, after reviewing the evidence, the American Medical Association released a major statement: nightlight can disrupt your sleep cycle. However, for whatever reason, not many people have since been informed about it. So, here's the basics of what you need to know. When you're exposed to a significant amount of light, specifically of the blue wavelength, your body suppresses melatonin production to make you feel more awake. Normally, this evolutionary design works pretty well. With the coming of night and day, our melatonin levels waxes and wanes, giving us our circadian rhythm. However, since the invention of artificial lights, we're being exposed to more and more light at nighttime, and these effects can be pretty big. Here's what happens when you place participants in a room with similar brightness to your average household. This is where their melatonin levels would normally be if they were sleeping in a dark room, and here's their melatonin levels in that lit room. You can see the huge suppression of melatonin. And it doesn't take too much to see these effects either.
How do I learn to enjoy and embrace difficult things and have it be an integrated part of my life? So there are two things that really help me do that. Number one is more of a mindset shift, and it's more inner work. And number two is more of a practical, strategic thing that you do to yourself. Okay, so number one is to operate from an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset. If you're constantly telling yourself like, oh, I have to go read books to get smarter. Oh, I have to go read a book now. Like, obviously you're not gonna have a good time while you're doing it. But if you identify as somebody who enjoys reading books, it's something that you like doing, it's just a part of who you are, then you're way more likely to actually follow through with doing it. This next tip is a little bit more practical and a little less theoretical. And that is to utilize habit bunching. And that is when you pair an already existing habit that you are used to doing with one that you're trying to work on. So for instance, I'm a sucker for a great cup of coffee. I have one in the morning and one in the early afternoon. I really enjoy the taste of coffee and I look forward to it every single time. Do I have an addiction? Yes, but I can leverage this filthy habit of mine into working on another habit. A great one to pair with a coffee addiction is reading, and that's exactly how I started reading more books. Every single morning next to my coffee maker, I placed the book that I wanted to read next to it, so that when I made my coffee, I knew to pick up the book, and I could only drink the coffee if I was reading the book the entire time I was drinking it. Done.
We all know the scene. Dorothy closes her eyes and repeats the Good Witch's mantra. No coordinates exist like one's domicile. No coordinates exist like one's domicile. No coordinates exist like one's domicile. Only Dorothy doesn't say that. She says 5 one-syllable words. There's no place like home. Each a word you probably learned in your first year of speaking. Each perfectly concise. It's not that L. Frank Baum didn't have a thesaurus. It's that in most cases, $10 words fail. When it comes to words, bigger isn't always better. $10 words are rendered worthless if they're not understood. That's not to say every piece of literature should be written at a 4th grade reading level, but it is important to know your audience. If you're a novelist, your audience is probably expecting 300 pages of vivid descriptors. At the very least, they're expecting you won't use the same 50 words to fill those pages. But most of us don't have the luxury of a captive audience. We're competing against a whole world of distractions, and we're fighting for space in an attention span that continues to shrink across generations. So get to the point already.
The process of writing a book forces you to be curious. And no, contrary to popular belief, curiosity didn't kill the cat. In fact, it made the cat happier. Studies have shown that there is a link between curiosity and dopamine. So that means that people who are curious tend to have lower levels of anxiety, lower levels of depression, and have a better overall psychological well-being. Furthermore, being curious helps expand our knowledge. When we learn new things, explore new ideas, and pursue knowledge, we end up having a better understanding of the world around us. When I was doing the research for my book, I looked at hundreds and hundreds of articles, books, blog posts, everything. And it was great because I ended up absorbing all this information, kind of like a sponge. And now I have a tiny little box back of my brain filled with fun facts and tidbits of information that I can pull out, one, when a conversation gets dull, but two, to help use as context when I'm learning new things. And so you end up having a self-fulfilling cycle of knowledge where the more you learn, the more you can learn more.
If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more PTE-related content. Don't forget to leave a comment below letting you know what you think or if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. I will meet you soon, our next video.